Okay. All right. So let's look at question page third. Let me see. Page 29 first. Okay. We'll start with page 29, but let me add a page, add a blank page here. And this one. All right, so question 1D. Okay, so if you got these two wrong, you can start the corrections. And can you raise your hand if you got 1DE wrong? Either D or E. Okay, all right. So let's start with the story form, right? It asks you to find out where 6-2 will be moving to, right? After the transformation. So usually I would do, right? I'll compare original and the after, right? So let's start with 1D. Right? Originally, we have y equal f of x, right? It says 6-2 is on y equal f of x. So write 6-2 here. So this is original, right? And then the question for D is y equals 3 f of 2x plus 6 minus 1. So by now, you should know how to change this into story form, right? We want to separate all the x part and the y part, right? So Chris Young, can you tell us how do you change this to story form?
You have to isolate x.
What do you mean isolate the x?
So you have to like get rid of all the extra things on the right side.
That's right, okay? The extra things is everything except this red part, right? Yeah? So can you move things over now? What will be
Yes.
on the left side?
Y plus 1 over 3.
Yep, that's right. Okay, y plus 1 over 3. And then now for the inside the f, right? That belongs to the x part. So Amanda, how do you change the inside into the story form?
Take out 2,
Mm-hmm.
and you have x plus 3 inside.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what do we do with the 2?
Turn into 1 over 2.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so you have to move the 2 to the bottom and then write 1 over 2 underneath. Okay, so your story form, the x, right, cannot have any coefficient beside it. Well, only one x and also like one y, right? It has to look like this form. So if there's anything outside, you have to move it under. So based on this, what will be the story then? Angela, how do you describe the R as T?
There's no R, like
Okay,
you don't reflect on anything.
very good. And then
And
S?
then expand vertically over the X. Oh, sorry, expand vertically by 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then compress horizontally by 1 over 2.
Yeah, very good. Okay, and then last one, T?
Uh, move down by 1 and
Yeah,
then left by 3.
left 3. Okay, perfect. So once you get here, right, then all we need to do is change the points. So if you want to change the x, okay, x, I'll use the red, then you look at the x part. okay? If you want to change the y, then you look at the y part. Very straightforward, okay? So let's start with the x. So you have to go in the order of RST. So since there's no R, right? So you skip that, so you go to S. So S, we have horizontal. Horizontal, that's the compression, right? So underneath the X, you have 1/2. So your 6/2 will first change to 6 will become 3 because times it by half. Okay? And then afterwards, you want to move it to the left 3. So move it to the left. So you need to subtract, right? Because it gets less. So 3 subtract 3 will give you 0. Okay, so you can actually get the whole answer just looking at the form. You take the original x, multiply by the bottom number, and then because plus 3 means moving left, so you subtract 3. Okay, do not add 3. Some of you made the mistake just by adding the 3. Okay, so that's the x. And then you do the same thing for the y part, okay? For the y, you look at the y. So what do we do with the 2, right? I want to get a new, let me change the color. Okay, we'll use green. So Brandon, what happened to the 2? What happened first? Brandon?
The 2.
Yeah, for the 2, it's vertically expand by
3.
3. So 2 will become,
5.
you need to multiply.
Oh no, sorry, 6.
Yeah, okay, gets 3 times bigger. Okay, and afterwards it moves down 1. So what do you do?
Minus 1.
Yeah. Okay, so it becomes
5.
5. Okay, so your final answer for this question is 0, 5. Okay, so if you are showing work for your corrections, right, this is how much work you can show, right? You show it step by step how you reach from 6/2 and becomes 0, 5. And in order to do that, you have to get the story form correct, right? Without that, right, you might multiply the wrong thing. Instead of moving left, you are moving to the right, right? Then you end up with the wrong point. Okay, we'll look at question E. Okay, E is still using the same point to start, 6/2. Okay, and then we have y equals to -2f, -1/2 x plus 1 plus 5. So same steps. I'm gonna change it to story form first. Okay, so Brendan, can you help us with the story form?
Y minus 5 over -2
Yeah, equals,
is equal to f.
yeah, f of, how do we do this one? I can hear you. Is your mic working?
Oh, yeah, sorry, slide down for a bit.
Okay,
And f of x plus 2 over -2.
x plus 2 over -2. Can you show more steps how you get to there?
You change the 1 to 2 over 2, and you just divide by -2.
Okay, let me write that on the side, okay? So -1/2 x plus 1, you turn it into -1/2 x plus 2 over 2, like that?
Yeah,
And then?
you just take x plus 2 and you divide it by -2. But then you change the -1 over 2 to divided by 2, right?
But then there's a negative though. You put the negative
Yeah, you change divide by
in the
-2
denominator.
in the bottom.
So write it
Yeah.
like this. You put the -2 at the
Oh,
bottom.
subtract 2 then.
Okay.
Oh,
So
subtract 2 then. Sorry.
yeah. Okay. So because right now the denominator that is not the same, right? So the way I would do this one, think about how we did the previous question, right? There's a 2 in front. So what we need to do is to factor, right? If there's ever a number before the x, you need to factor out the 2. So factor means you divide, right? Divide by 2. So that's why the 6 becomes the 3, right? 6 divided by 2. So you would divide by whatever that's in front of the x. So for example, this one, we'll do it slowly, okay? We take out, factor out -1/2. Then the first term will just be x. And then you need to take 1 divided by the -1/2 that you factor out. Okay, when you take 1 divided by -1/2, it will give you -2. All right, and then afterwards, you move it under. -1/2, if you move it under, you need to flip it, right? Reciprocal, so it becomes -2. So that will be your story form. So let's try this one without writing out RST, right? Remember, you could get the points without using RST. So let's start with 6-2. And then step by step, right? One by one. Let's start with the x. Okay. So if you want to do the x, then you look at the x part. So Sarah, what do we do with that 6?
It's like -6.
Yep. So first we got the reflection, -6, and then
And then you multiply by 2.
yeah, so -12, and
then you add 2.
very good. Okay, moving to the right side by 2, so it becomes -10.
10.
Very good. Okay, so that's our final place for the x value. Now let's look at the y, right? So the y, you will be looking at that one, the green part. So Amanda, can you try this one?
-4.
Yeah, okay, so a little bit faster, right? -2 and then -4 and then
1.
1 because which way?
It's moving to the right. Oh wait, up.
Up, right? This is with the y, right? So moving up by 5, so you add 5, so it becomes 1. Okay, so your final location answer is -10, 1. All right, so that takes care of our 1DE. So these questions that I picked is like a summary of everything you should know before moving on to trig, right? These are the D's that you have to know, okay? So they are difficult because it combines everything that you covered, right? All in one question. All right, so let me check. So if you are done writing this down, can you raise your hand? Or, okay, can you raise your hand if you need more time, okay? And then when you finish writing this down, you can drop your hand and then we'll move on to next page. So by the end of the class today, everyone needs to hand in the corrections, okay? A few of you need to do the whole homework. All right, so let's look at page 31. Okay, page 31 for BC. So it's actually the same as what we did just now, right? Except instead of 6 and 2, they use AB. Okay, so I hope probably the previous question, right, after going through the last question, this one will be easy now. So let's start with 4B. Instead of 6, 2, we have AB. Right, same thing, same setup. Y equals to 4f of, right? See, once again, we have a negative half in front, right? Now you know how to deal with that. All right, so we need to change it to story form, all right? Can you show me hands again if you got this one, number 4, wrong? Yeah, okay. Right, so I'll give you 30 seconds. Okay, change this one into story form. Right, so Aaron, do you have the story form?
Almost.
Okay.
It's y plus 3 over 4
Equals f of
is equal to f bracket negative 1 over 2 and the bracket x minus 4.
Yeah, is that the
And
final form?
no.
And then?
You turn the negative 1 over 2 into negative 2 and you put the
Yes, very good. Okay, so just like the previous question, right? In question 1. So we're going to do the same thing. Instead of apply it to the 6 and 2, we're gonna apply it to A and B, right? A is the X, then you use the X part, right? B is the Y, so you apply the Y part. Very straightforward, right? So we'll start with A, B, and then slowly we change. All right, so we go in order, right? R, S, T. So after the reflection, Chris, where is the point?
A would be negative A.
Yeah, very good. So there's a reflection. Is there a reflection negative for the B?
There's nothing.
Yeah, very good. Okay. And after that, Brandon, what do we do next? For the negative A, what do we do now?
Negative. Oh,
There's a horizontal what?
oh yeah. Expansion.
By how much?
-2. Wait,
By
no.
2, just 2, okay? The negative is reflection, okay? You have negative with the X, that's a reflection over Y axis, right? But the 2 is expansion. So negative a will become,
Negative 2a.
yeah, very good. And what about a b?
4b.
Or b, okay, let's carry on, okay. And then translation, what kind of translation do we have? Moving to the,
Left by 4.
if you see a subtract 4, it's moving to the right by 4. Okay, x minus 4 means move it to the right side by 4. Okay,
Okay.
so negative 2a will become,
2a.
you need to add or subtract 4.
Add. Oh,
Add 4, right? Negative 2a plus 4. The 4 cannot combine with negative 2. You can only add it at the back. All right? What about the y? Which way do we move?
left.
The y is
Oh, yeah,
either
sorry.
up or down.
Down
Yeah, down by
3.
3. So 4b will now become,
4b minus 3.
very good, okay? So translation is always either adding or subtracting, okay, to whatever that happens before. So your final answer, right, for this question is right here. Okay, make sure you write this down. So you see, right, it's not so hard, right? If you break it down one by one. And question C, okay, question C, we have original is still AB. And then the new one, we have this one. So right away, you see something very different, right? From question B. Okay, what's the most different part about this one? You sure?
Inverse.
Inverse, very good. Okay, usually we get y equals, but this time we get x equals. So that means our point, what should happen then, Amanda?
X equals Y.
Yeah, x equal y, that's the line where it will reflect, but what happened to the point AB? What will happen?
Y becomes X and X becomes Y.
So AB will become
BA.
BA, okay? So this is what you should do right away. Okay, used to be X, it will move to the Y part. Used to be Y, move to the X. So all the story that you get from here, you need to apply it to BA instead of AB, right? So same thing, we're gonna turn this into story form. Okay, I will give you about 30 seconds again. Change this one to story form. So instead of all the y on the left side, we're gonna have all the x on the left side, right? So inside the f, right, inside the bracket, you will have y inside. Okay, Angela, can I have your story form?
X minus 2 over negative 3
Yep, equals.
equals f bracket y plus 1 over 1 over 4.
Perfect, okay. All right, so we're gonna do step by step again, right? R, S, T, right? 3 brackets, but we're gonna apply it to BA. Okay, the new X and the new Y. So whatever that's the X, you look at the X part, right? And then whatever that's on the Y now, you look at the Y part. All right, so everything you learned before is still the same, okay? The rules that you learn, right? except at the very beginning, you need to swap x and y point because you know this one is an inverse. All right, so let's start with the reflection. Okay, where is the new point after reflection? Okay, Chris Young.
Negative B
Yeah.
and A.
A, very good. Okay, and Colin Young. After this, where's the after the expansion compression? Colin, yeah.
Is it 3b plus 2?
Yeah, negative 3b.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we are not doing the plus 2 yet. Okay, just expansion.
Oh,
What about the compression?
and then 1 over 4a.
Yes, very good. Okay, and finally we got translation. So Brandon, can you try this one?
I'm sorry.
So negative 3b, where do we move?
Move negative 3b. Move down 1. So it'd be negative 3b minus 1.
Okay, negative 3b
Wait,
is
shoot.
x.
X, never mind.
So you gotta look at left or right.
Left.
That's a minus 2, right? X minus 2 means to the right side. Okay, if you see x minus 2 in the story form, that means move it to the right side. So it should be negative 3b and then
Plus 2.
plus 2. Okay, moving to the right, you need to plus 2. Okay, can you try with the up and down for the y?
Y should be negative 4a minus 1.
1 over 4a.
Yeah, 1 over 4a
Yeah.
minus 1.
Moving it down, okay? Plus 1 means you move down. Okay, so that's your final point. It's 90% same as question 1, right? Before we just do the same thing for the numbers. That's why it seems a little bit easier, right? For question 1 and question 4, you're just showing the step by step, except you don't get a number. Okay, so you can drop your hand if you finish writing this down, and then we're gonna look at next question. Okay, so the correction, make sure you show the steps. You have to show the story form, right? Okay, are you almost done, Chris and Brandon?
Almost.
Okay. And then starting for number 6, also same thing, except instead of applying to 1 point, we apply it to how many points are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So it's better to do all the x at once, and I'll show you how to do it faster. Okay, instead of RST, we can combine R and S together and T, either add or subtract. Okay, so I'll show you one. So let's start with, okay, we need to start with writing out the points for the original, right? So question 6 now. Okay, can you show me hands again? How many of you got 6A, B, either A or B wrong? All right. So let's look at 6, 8. Right, the point. So this is original, right? We need 5 points. So where are the 5 points? Ivy? We go from left to right.
5 points.
Yeah, the 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is it -6, -2,
Mm-hmm.
-3, 4, -1, 2, 2, 5, 6, 0?
6, 0. Okay, perfect. And then we are going to get the new table. Okay, so the first one, we start with this with something easier. All right, so the story form for this one. Aaron, what's the story form for this?
Y minus 1 over 2 is equal to f of x over negative.
Yeah, okay, so you can write it like that. You could leave the negative with the x or put it under the x. It doesn't matter because there's nothing add or subtract to the x, right? So either way, it doesn't change anything. So to change the x, we look at the x part. So it looks like it just multiply everything by -1, right? Whatever you see underneath is whatever that you need to multiply with. Okay, so that's why story form is so important, right? And so useful. So all the x, you need to times it by -1 because there's a -1 underneath. So that's the reflection, right? So Amanda, what are the x now?
6, 3, 1, -2, -6.
Yeah, very good. Okay, and then the y, also easy. Okay, the y, you just look at the y side. Whatever underneath the y is the number you multiply. But we're gonna combine the work. Okay, so expand by 2, right? And then we have y minus 1. Y minus 1 means we are moving up or down. Brandon?
Moving up
Yes, okay.
by 1.
Moving up by 1, very good. So we need to times it by 2 and add a 1, okay? Times it by 2, add a 1. So before I forget, right, I can write it down. Times it by 2, add 1, okay? Just like in the video when we learn, right? I want to write this down so I don't forget. So all the y values times it by 2, add 1. So -2 times 2, -4, add 1, so -3. Okay, so you do the same thing for the rest of them. Okay, so Brendan, do you have the next point?
It's 5.
5, how?
Wait, actually, no.
We're doing 4. Changing the 4.
9.
9, very good. Okay, and Brendan?
Yep.
Yep, next one.
5.
5, very good. Okay, and Yosher, next one.
1.
1, very good. Right, 5. Wait, not 1. Sorry, it was 5, right? 5 times 2 plus 1.
Oh, 11.
11, yeah. Okay, can you try the next one?
1.
1, okay, it's the next one, that's 1. Okay, so that's our new table, right? So you just apply that table and then draw the graph. All right. Okay, next question, same thing, right? So we have y equals to negative f of negative half x. So if you got this one wrong, it's probably because the story form, right? Not correct. Otherwise, right, you just use the form, get the point. So that's, I'll give you 30 seconds again. Please change this one to story form. Okay, can I have Chris Young, can you tell us your story form for this?
Y plus 3 over -1
Over -1 equals?
to f of brackets x minus 2 over -2.
Yes, okay. Right, now everybody should know how to deal with the inside, right? Negative half, you need to factor it out. So that will make the 1 become -2. Okay, so whatever that's under the x, that's the number you multiply with the x. Whatever that's under the y, that's what you multiply with the y point. And then x minus 2 means you move it to the right. Y plus 3 means you move it down 3. Okay? So let's get a new table. Okay, so same thing, I'll give you about 30 seconds, finish the table. Right, Angela, do you have the x values?
Almost.
Okay.
Uh, wait, sorry.
How about just the first x? The -6 becomes
14.
14 is correct. Very good. Okay, you don't sound very sure. Okay, can you tell us how you got 14?
You multiply by 2 and then plus 2.
Close, not multiplied by 2.
Multiply by -2.
-2, yes. Okay, you use the original. Okay, original is the one I put a star there, right? So -6 times -2, that makes it 12. 12 and add a 2, right? If you don't want to forget, you can write this down. -2 times the original x, and you add the 2. All right, so Amanda, what's the next x?
8.
Very good. And Brennan, next one?
4.
Yeah. Okay, Yosher, next one?
-2.
Okay, Ivy, next one?
Uh,
Yeah, did you say something?
no.
Okay. Are you lost?
Kind of.
Kind
It's
of. We are here, okay? We are changing the 6.
6 times -2 minus and plus 2.
That's right. What's that equal?
14.
Yeah, 6
14.
times -2 is
10.
10. Yeah. No, try again.
So it's -12.
Yeah.
And then
Plus
plus 2. negative 10.
Yes, negative 10, okay, not 10. All right, now the y part, all right? The y, we have a reflection, right? So we need to times the -1, so we can write negative y, right? So I don't forget. And then we want to move down, right? Down 3, so subtract 3. All right? So Angela, do you have the first y?
-1.
Yep, okay. And then Brandon, what about the next one?
-7.
Very good, -7. Okay, 4 times negative, and then subtract 3. Okay, next one. Aaron?
-5.
Yeah, okay. Amanda, next one.
-8.
Yeah. Last one, Brandon.
-3.
-3. Okay, there you go, right? As long as you get the right table, there's a very low chance that you get the graph wrong, right? Okay, I hope. So here are the answer, right? You got to show the table. That's what I will be checking. And then you can graph it, right? Okay, you can drop your hand once you finish writing these down on your corrections. All right, so we just have 3 more, okay? Very efficient, right? 3 more correction, then we're done. Okay, so this one, let me add a page. Right, so you see the homework, if as long as you get it the right way, it doesn't take that long to complete. All right, so next one. Okay, next one is a little bit tricky. Okay, because it tells you that the -28, okay, number 5. Okay, -28 is on y equal f of x. Oh, sorry, not y equal f of x minus 3, and then plus 1. This one is -28. Right? And then it's asking where would it be if the point is on f of x, right? It's like sort of going backwards, right? Because usually you start with f of x, right? Has no story at all, and then you turn it into something that has RST. So you need to move things backwards. For questions like these, they don't give you too complicated, right? Like for this one, they only give you x minus 3 and plus 1, right? So you have to think about the -2, 8 is like the ending, right? You think of this way. And you want to travel back in time, right? Reverse the time, and then think about where it originally came from. But let's look at the red arrow first, right? If I go this way, what's the story that has happened, right? X minus 3, f of x minus 3 plus 1. What's the story behind it? All right, so before we begin, can you show me hands if you got these three, any of the 3 questions wrong? Okay, number 5. All right. Okay, so Yosher, can you tell us the story for the left side?
Like the y equals f x, that one.
Yep. The f of x minus 3 plus 1, the RST for that one.
Y minus 1 equals to f. Oh, like the story?
Yes.
no reflection, and then no stretch,
That's right.
and then up 1, right 3.
Right 3. Okay. Right. So first you got to figure this out, right? Going from f of x becomes something up 1, right 3. You get -2/8. So now you want to go backwards, right? You want to reverse the clock because up 1, right 3 is after, right? -2/8 is after up 1, right 3. You get to -2/8. So where was it before? So you need to move everything opposite, right? So instead of up 1, right 3, what's the opposite, Chris?
Down 1, left 3.
Yeah, down 1, left 3. Okay, so down 1, left 3. Where is the point then, Amanda?
I don't. Oh wait. For x.
Okay, let's start with x, right? -2, I want to move it to the left 3.
1.
Used to be -2. Think about number line right now, right? Number line.
Oh, -5.
Yes, okay. And then you move it to the left. So if you go to the right by 3, then you go to -2. Right? Look at the color. Right 3 is the following the red. Left 3 is following the green. Okay, because they give you something that's already happened, right? Already has some story. You want to go backwards. Okay, and then instead of moving up 1, we want to do opposite, rewind, right? It's like rewind your video. So up 1, the opposite is down 1. So where is the y value now? Brandon?
Y value's at 7.
7, very good. Right? So -5/7 is before anything has happened. Okay, -5/7. So if you move it to the up 1, right 3, then it will go to -2/8. So for question 5, question A, 5A, answer is -5/7. Okay, and that point is the original point before any story that has happened. Okay, because usually the question they give you the original point, but this one instead, they give you something that's been moved. Make sense? Okay, and then everything after that is based on this point. So if you get question A wrong, it affects your B and D. Right, because question A is your original point. Oh. Okay, so let's look at next one now. Okay, we got our -5/7. We can use that as our beginning point. So we have x equal to f of y. If I want to go from -5/7 and then x equal to f of y, what does that mean, Yoshi?
Inverse.
Inverse again, right? So what happened to the -5/7?
Is x is 7 and y is -5.
Yeah, you just simply flip it and you're done. Right? There's no story applied to the x and y at all. Okay, so question B finished. Okay, so I picked these questions on purpose, right? One leads to next one, right? But only if you understand what's going on, right? Okay, so you have to get the original point, make it inverse, and then you can do our question D, because question D, you have this symbol here. -8, F, -1, what does that mean? What does that little -1 at the corner mean? Angela?
Inverse.
Inverse again, right? It's inverse. So you apply the story to your answer in question B, because B 7 negative 5 is the point for inverse. Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds. Please change this one into story form. Okay, you keep your -1 there, okay? You don't need to move anything. And then you will apply 7 negative 5, apply the story to the 7 negative 5, okay? R S T. And then the last blank is your answer. I think we just might happen to finish right on time, okay? 10 more seconds. Right, Amanda, do you have the story form for D?
Y plus 3 over -8 equals x plus 2 over 1 over 4.
Yep. 2 over 1 over 4. Don't forget to write the F inverse, okay? F -1 there. All right, so let's start with the X. Okay, once again, the 7 is the X. So you use whatever you see in the bracket, right? Because that's the X. And then the Y is the -5. Then you use your story form. Whatever that's on the Y side changes the Y values. Okay, we'll do step by step. Reflection. Okay, after reflection, where is the point, Chris?
7, 5.
Hmm?
Wait, okay, so
Yeah.
1.7.
7, X is 7. What about the Y, Chris?
5.
5, yeah, okay. We only have a negative on the Y side. So only the Y changes sign, okay? And then after that, we need to do the either expansion or compression. So Brandon, what happened to the X now?
X is
Horizontally,
um compressed by 1/4.
yeah. So what do you do with the 7?
Divide by 1 over 4.
Times, always times.
Oh.
Okay. So 7 times 1 over 4 is
1.75.
Okay, yeah, okay, you're doing decimal. We can just leave it in fraction, 7 over 4. Okay, whatever you see underneath is the number that you use to multiply. Okay, if you see an 8, you times it by 8. Okay, and then the 5 becomes what, Braden?
Is it negative 40?
Okay, it will be 40, positive 40. Because we already used the negative, okay? If you want to go straight to 40, then you need to start from 7 negative 5, okay? Right, if you look at -5, -5 times -8 will give you the 40. Okay, but because we break it down, right? We do the negative and then we do the expansion, okay? That's why it's still positive there. Okay, finally we do translation, okay? Which way are we moving? 7 over 4, what do we do? Ivy?
-2.
-2, very good. Okay, we are moving to the left by 2. So where do you end up at?
-1, 4.
Yeah. Okay, and then moving up and down, Brennan? Are we going
Down.
up or down here?
Down 3.
Yeah, so where's the final place?
37.
37 it is, okay? That's all, right? We're done. So, okay, can you drop your hand when you finish this part? Question 5. So I hope this corrections helps you with, because you still work, you will still be doing some review, right? Last homework 9, right? I give you a review sheet on transformation. Hopefully it helps you wraps up the chapter 1, okay? And transformation very important because later on the next topic, trig, we'll be using a little bit of transformation too along the way. And later we have another chapter that's exponent and log that also needs some transformation, okay? So if you have any more questions, you can stay afterwards, but please submit the correction right now since all of you already dropped the hands, right? Can you submit the corrections now? Once you finish submitting, can you raise your hand and then you can go, okay? Yeah, Brendan, I got yours. You can leave now. Sarah, good. Okay, Colin, yeah. So everyone should complete all the corrections, okay? We've gone over all the questions, every single question here.